Yeah, so what happens? You die and you wake up and you're Mokey and you're on a strange planet and you have no idea what's going on. Okay, so what we need you guys to do first is pick which place you wish to go to. Okay, we'll hit stop. You guys have selected Dragon Maids first. Okay, so what happens with the Dragon Maids is you enter the Dragon Maid Manor and you meet all of the maids. As you arrive in town, you help Laundry Dragon Maid with some sheets that got blown into the wind. She thanks you and brings you into the mansion. You do some light talking before you're given the choice of what to do next. They're giving you sweets and teas and drinks. It seems to be a great place. You have died and reincarnated into a paradise. So, what exactly do you guys wish to do next? I shall give you the option to click on screen. You guys have all chosen Chamber. Chamber Dragon Maid? No, wait. Never mind. Kitchen Dragon Maid now has 21% of the vote. Have you ever tried a savory pie? If so, what kind? What is the most dangerous thing you've ever done? Which of these two options do you say to kitchen? Choose now. You guys have chosen to ask her, have you ever tried a savory pie before? And if so, what kind? And she looks at you and says, I'm not a big fan of pie. I like a cake instead. Oh, she didn't like that. Oh well, it's fine. You have more questions to ask her. Your next questions are, what are you superstitious about? Or, what is the best thing about being you? Choose now. Okay, so we have 33% asking on the right side. So, you ask her, what is the best thing about being you? And she looks at you, and she seems happy by that question. She says, well, I'm very adventurous. I love to go out and look for new adventures, if you know what I mean. You seem to have gotten a positive response from her from that one. So she asks you, what's the most important thing you carry with you at all times? You guys have answered. It looks like we have a lot of people clicking on her tail. Wallet, please. Well, we do have 12 plus 6% around the knife. And like another 8% around the knife. We have almost zero on phone. I carry Ariara. Okay. It looks like you guys have clicked on knife. We have a lot of clicks. We're going to stop it here. So, with 18% on knife and an additional 6%, which is probably on knife, this definitely wins. She asks you, what is the most important thing you carry at all times? You tell her, very seductively, I love to carry around my knife. You don't have a knife on you. You reach into your pocket and you don't have pockets either. But she seems to have liked your response. Let's check how many hearts you got from this encounter. We will know this in the top right-hand corner. Out of 3 hearts, you guys get 2. Not half bad. Let's go back. You go back to the table, and you meet all the other dragon maids. It is getting late at night. It is the afternoon. You spent most of the day talking to kitchen. What do you do next? It looks like we have a vast majority who've clicked on Chamber Dragon Maid. Let's go check her out. You guys walk up to Chamber Dragon Maid and get her off into her own little room where she's cleaning, and you ambush her, and you start speaking. So, what do you say to her? So we have 20% on the left. So you guys ask her, in the haste of your daily life, what are you not remembering? She says, oh, there's lots I don't remember. Like what my dragon form was. She doesn't seem to like that one very much. You reminded her of a past trauma. Oh well, better luck next time. Let's go into the next question. You guys ask her some more questions. What is your astrological sign? Or, what are you really lazy about? With 35% of the votes, what are you really lazy about? And she looks at you, and she kind of scowls, and says, not much. I do my work like everyone else, even though I'm the newest one here. I think I pull more weight than the others. She didn't like that very much. Now she's going to ask you a question. She asks you, where is the scariest place to get lost? What do you say in response? We have 35% who have chosen bathroom. In response, when she asks you, where's the scariest place to get lost? You say, the bathroom. And she looks at you and says, how do you get lost in the bathroom? That's ridiculous. Do you have bird brains? Is there nothing in that head of yours? Let's see what your result was. You guys get... no. No. And the final question? No. She did not like you very much. Let's go back to the start. It is getting late. We'll hide stream chat for this. It's evening. It's almost time to go to sleep. They're all getting ready for, nightly activities. Which one are you going to bother next? Click now. With 35% of the vote, you guys have all decided to go with House Dragon Maid. House Dragon Maid is getting ready to get everyone else in order and getting prepared. And then you go up to her while she's in a room by herself. And you notice she's about to change, but then she stops. And she looks at you. What do you do? What do you say to her? Let's have you guys pick now. You say, in what ways has money impacted you negatively? Or do you say, do you believe an eye for an eye? What are these questions? These are the questions you guys, as Yu-Gi-Oh players who have died and woken up in a world as Mokey and are talking to Dragon Maids, would say to them. Okay, we have enough clicks. We'll stop it here. You guys have decided that Pokemon the first movie is your favorite movie. You tell her, I'm a big fan of Pokemon the first movie. I especially like Mewtwo's message about how it is unimportant of the circumstances of one's birth, which determines your life, and what you do with that gift of life instead. And she says, yeah, it's great for a children's movie, I guess. She didn't like it very much. You guys wake up, and it's sleepy. They let you stay the night. You had an adventurous day. You keep talking to people, and you decide to go to sleep. However, as you're awake, as you sleep at night, as you're drifting off into Wonderland, you hear something come into your room. Something slithers over towards your bed. You pretend to be asleep. And then you feel a sharp stabbing pain in your neck. And you open your eyes, and you don't see anything because it's dark. And you look over, and you see a protruding needle coming out of your neck. And then you pass out. And you die. You don't know what happened. But you wake up. And you're in front of the mansion again. And you see Laundry Dragon Maid running around with a sheet. And you go up and catch it. And she's like, oh my god, I've never seen you before. And you say, but we just met yesterday. She's like, no, we haven't. Do you want to come inside? We're about to have tea and cookies. And you walk in. And you notice all of the Dragon Maids as they were yesterday. And they all seem happy. You go up to kitchen. And you start talking to her about the knife you have. She's like, what? What are you talking about? I've never met you before. What do you do next? We have 26% on laundry. You go over to Laundry Dragon Maid and ask her, hey, do you want to go outside and play? She's like, hell yeah. And you guys go outside and skip rocks, jump rope, and you have a gay old time. And then you come back, and it's time for lunch. You spent the full morning just playing with laundry, and she had a great time. What do you do next? Okay, so we have 46% on knife. You tell her, I love to carry my knife around everywhere with me. This time you don't look for it in your pocket because you know it's not there. And then she says, me too. And she pulls out her knife, which is very long, but very girthy too, very thick. A big fat knife. Let's see how you did. So, out of a potential 3 stars, you got all 3. Congratulations. She finds you incredibly favorable. Let's go back. You go up to her and ask her, in the haste of your daily life, what are you not remembering? With 26% of the vote. You tell her, the most scariest place to get lost at is the mall. And she says, how do you get lost in the mall? She says, well, like, you know, you're just walking around and your friends and you just, like, lose them. She's like, can't you just call them on your phone? I'm like, yeah, I guess, but, like... He's like, and how is that scary? And she didn't like that question very much. She didn't like that answer. You guys are doing so good. You guys are about to go to sleep. You guys are sleepy time. You go to your bed, and you lay awake, and you know you're on the lookout for something bad to happen. And then you guys hear your door open again, and they start walking to your bed. And then you hear someone else come into the door and ask them, hey, what are you doing out here so late? And what are you doing in the guest bedroom? You hear the voice of Kitchen Dragon Maid talking to someone. And then they have a little conversation, and then the door closes. And then you fall asleep. And then you wake up the next day, and you're alive. You go up, and you talk to them. They're all super happy to meet you. Everything's great. Kitchen goes over to you and says, hey, if you ever need anything, just let me know. And you thank her. And then you go on your way. You guys have cleared the Dragon Maid level. Let me zoom out a little bit so you guys can pick your next adventure. Okie dokie. We can probably put chat back on screen, right? Congratulations, you did it. Where do you wish to go next? Click on screen. We didn't get to talk to Parlor, not this time around. The Ghost Trick Mansion, the Dragon Rulers, the DD. Here, let's hide chat so you can better click on the map. You guys managed to clear the dragons very easily. You guys walk on over to the Tears. You go into town. A wonderful town. It seems to be by a coast. And as you're walking along a bridge, you see someone in the distance. And you go and walk up to them. And then the girl runs over to you and she notices you. And she says, oh my god, can you help me? My sisters have been kidnapped. And I don't know anyone who's willing to help. They all think I'm mad. What do you do? Restart. Okay, choose your answer now. You guys have decided on, I can help. You tell her, yes, I can definitely help. What is ailing you? And she tells you the story. She says, my sisters, they were kidnapped by this evil serpent known as Colacanth. I need your help in order to go get them back. Please come with me. I know of a way. And so you follow her. And then you guys go into this tunnel. And she says, it's this way. And down this long, dark tunnel. And you're like, okay. And you go in the long, dark tunnel along with her. I need to change the music real quick. You walk down this long, dark tunnel, and she says, it's right ahead. She goes, I need you to go ahead of me. And you're like, okay. And you go ahead, and you start walking, and then you hear a loud crunch behind you. And you turn around, and it looks like you've been blocked off. What do you do next? Okay, you guys can click on screen now. Sorry, I moved it, but you guys can click on screen now. You guys have decided that you're ham-boned. You're just like, well, tried my best. Nothing I can do about it. And then in the darkness, you hear a whole bunch of creatures slither out of the walls and the cracks in the ceiling. And you look around, and then it's very painful for a little bit as you're torn to shreds. And then you die. You died. You are going to go back in. However, this is the second time you've died. So we have what's called a stress meter. You guys have only died a little bit. Anyways, you go back into town. And you see her on the bridge again. What do you do? However, you haven't talked to her yet. You have new options. The small text over here says, actually, I have to zoom in because I can't even read that. It says she's damaged just like me. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so let's end the clicks. Why are you guys clicking on the water? Which wants you to go over and call her out. You go up to her and say, "You tricked me. I can't believe it. You were actually going to let me die when I was trying to help you?" And she says, "I have no idea what you're talking about." She says, "Your sisters, they weren't actually being held prisoner." She's like, "How do you know about my sisters being held prisoner?" He's like, "Wait, what?" And she says, "Wait, what?" And she says, "Yes, my sisters are held prisoner by the coelacanth." He says, "Yes, and you tricked me." He goes, "Oh, you got away? Well, that must mean you're very strong. Would you like to come with me to fight him for reals? That was just a test." And you're like, "Okay." So you go with her, and she doesn't take you to the subway, she takes you somewhere else. She takes you into the water. She says, "We're gonna have to swim down a little bit." And you meet with Deep Sea King Coelacanth. What do you do next? Choose now. You guys have chosen to say, "Ladies first, I shall provide the support." And she says, "Okay." And she goes up to see Coelacanth and says, "Look, I have brought another sacrifice." And he says, "Excellent." And he goes over and gobbles you up and eats you. And you die much quicker this time. At least you're not torn to shreds. And you wake back up. And you died a third time. So, you go back into the village. This time, you don't walk up to her on the bridge. You actually stay kind of far away from her on the bridge. Oops, wrong one. You see her on the other side of the bridge. What do? You can either go and confront her, or follow her to see if you can get more information. Remember what happened last time you confronted her, though. Maybe this time will be different. Choose now. Okay. Well, it looks like we have 66% on follow her for information. We got a lot of clicks. We'll stop it now. Instead of confronting her, you instead decide to follow her. You walk around, you watch her. You see her walk up to just random people and sometimes ask them if they can help. Most of them shoo her off. And then when you're following her around, you see her go to her sister's place. And she talks to two other people who look similar to her. They have a nice conversation. And then she leaves and she goes off. And then you decide to go over and talk to those two sisters. Beep. And then you tell them about everything she's doing. You say she goes up to people and tricks them until they go to this sea creature and they get killed. They're like, "Oh my god, how do you know that?" And you lie and you say, "Well, because I was one of them, but I got away. Only barely." And they're like, "Oh no, we will talk to our sister and fix this problem. Thank you for bringing it to our attention. We had no idea. She has been going out a lot recently. We were wondering about this." And you're like, "No problem, ladies." I'm like, "Well, if you ever need any help with anything, please let us know. We will actually give you assistance, unlike our sister." And you're like, "Heck yeah." And back to the overworld. Congratulations. That adventure is cleared. Okay, let's put this one into the cleared category. There's room for one more. Well, I shouldn't say one more. Where do you guys wish to go next? Let's restart and click wherever you want. We still need revenge? But their sisters were so nice to you. So, we have 35% on Dragon Ruler, but we also have 17 plus 11 on the other one. What is that, 28%? It looks like the Dragon Ruler one still has a higher percentage. You go over to the Dragon Ruler Mountains. Yeah, Dark Lords aren't available right now. I didn't get to finish them. You decide to walk up to this big, scary mountain that you can hear dragon roars coming from. Because you are adventurous. You hear loud, roaring noises in the distance. But you decide to keep walking forward to see what's going on. However, you notice something shiny sticking out of a pool of water. What do you do next? We need to zoom in a little bit for this one. Do you investigate the object or just keep going straight? You guys have decided to investigate the object. You go up to it and you investigate. And it seems to be just a rock that was reflecting the sunlight. Funny. And then behind you, you hear a crash. And you turn around. And there's a big ol' scary dragon there. What do you do? Choose now. Click on screen. We invest in NFTs. Shut up. It's Tempest. Fight him. Run away. Ooh. I'm running away like a little beta cuck. Okay. Looks like a vast majority of you guys want to run away. We'll just go with that. Okay. So, you guys decide to run away. You run. And immediately you hear a voice in your head that says, "Hey, you. Follow the sound of my voice if you want to live." So, you look around and you just run directly into it. And then a hand pulls you into the side of the mountain and explains to you, "This was an illusionary door. The dragons won't find us in here. Come, walk with me. Let's talk." Okay, we should be good to go. You notice a guy. He explains to you his name is Aram. He is an adventurer who was paid a lot of money to come to this mountain and install a device at the heart of it. He said he was paid even extra money not to ask any questions about it. But he's stumped, and he needs to be able to open up this lock to get in. But there are 3 puzzles that he just can't solve on his own because he's more of a fighting type. He's not really a thinker type. So, you guys are going to help him. We're going to die. Puzzle number 1. You look over to the right, to the left, I mean. And you see a design on this rock. And there's also a lock combination. How many triangles do you see here? Maybe I should space them out a little bit more. How many triangles do you see here, chat? Remember, if you get the correct answer, good. If you get the wrong answer, hopefully nothing bad happens to you. Logs, why? Okay, pick now. Remember when you guys thought this was just going to be a dating sim? 57% clicking on 18. You guys decide 18 is the correct answer. You go into the combination, you're confident as hell. You type it in. Clickety-clack, down the track. It explodes. You both die. You wake up, and you're in front of the dragon again. And you hear the voice that says, "Hey, you, follow my voice if you want to live." First, let's increase the stress meter as you died a little bit. You just died a tiny bit. Okay, let me play some more. You follow the voice. You go with Aram. He starts talking to you. You're like, yeah, I know. And then he brings you to the puzzle. And then you guys notice it. Before I restart this thing, you guys can discuss in chat which one you think it is. Everything in purple? Only the parts in purple. Are we counting the pentagram? No, you're not. You're only counting the part in purple. That's it. Pentagram is not part of this. Have you 1 year closer to death? Why, thank you. Does trapeziums count? The fuck is that? Mokey is purple, though? No, he's not. Mokey has 4 triangles. No, you're only counting the triangles in this section right here. I just have it over here so that you can click on the numbers. So only this right here. How many triangles are in here? Alright, we'll stop the clicks. We have 500 clicks. We have 35% on 22/21. Which one do you guys want? 22 or 21? We have about 400 clicks. We're gonna stop it now. You guys have voted with 28% on 22. No, 21, actually. The right one. 28% of 21. Alright. You go into the device and you type in 21. Click, clack, it opens. No explosion. You did it. The correct answer was 21. Wow, I'm surprised you guys got that. Nobody in chat gave the correct answer, but you guys chose the right answer. Is everyone who knows this just like not talking? Told you. We live. You live. You did it. Congratulations. Did Logs fuck up the purple triangle count? No, you guys got it. Now, time for puzzle number 2. He's like, okay, there's 2 more. Wow, you're really smart. And he's like, yeah. So you come out to another one, and you see numbers. Which of these numbers does not belong? Or I guess I should say, I don't want to make this confusing. Which one of these doesn't belong? Just click on that answer. Choose now. Which of these 4 numbers does not belong? Okay, so we have 79% on 13. We'll stop the vote. Okay, so you guys have decided to choose the number 13, which means your character goes in and clicks 68, 54, 21, and leaves 13 up. And you hear click, clack, rattle, rattle, and it opens. You did it. He was like, oh wow. You're amazing. You're so smart. There's one more. And you're like, oh, okay. This is easy. I'm sure this final one is going to be just as easy as all the others. You go over to the final one. Oh no. Time to find out how many triangles are in this next pattern. Please give us time to count. I am giving you time. I'm not going to start the vote until you guys have a little bit of time. Thanks for the sub, Norway. Nowerwa. Aaron really shouldn't have gone adventuring without Nimgers. Why did you spread them out? That way it's easier to click on them without getting it all muddied up. I count 14. It's at least 24. Interesting that you guys think that. 27 IG, 28. How many triangles are in this picture, chat? How is it you guys never have the correct answer in chat, but as soon as it's available to click on, you guys just immediately go for it? Mobile folks can't count? Who would have known? It's the lurkers, man. They're so smart. Alright, we'll just end it. You guys have 25% on 30. 30 is the correct answer. Congratulations. You go in, click, clack, back on the track. You click on you type in 30, it opens, and it allows you into the heart of the center. Aram is overjoyed. He's like, oh, thank you. You saved me so much time and effort. I am not very good at these kinds of puzzles. I'm more of a go in and shoots things first, ask questions later kind of dude. He goes in, he implants his device, and then he tells you, hey, if there's anything you ever need from me, just let me know, and I'll be there to help. And you're like, okay, sure thing. And then you leave. You have successfully cleared the Dragon Ruler part. Where do you go next? We're gonna go over to the dangers. Close. So you go over to the Danger Island. What happens is you walk over. Yeah, anyways, research comes up to you and says, we had a researcher who was on this island and got lost. But he was able to send out a radio transmission just the other day. But no one is brave enough to go back to the island. Would you be willing to come with us so we can look for his radio signal once more? And Mokey obviously agrees. And says, hell yeah, I'm going. This is going to be awesome. However, before you guys can get on the boat, you hear a loud bang way off in the distance. And then you notice the skies start getting dark. Storms start raining down everywhere. You look over towards the mountain and you see gigantic dragons ravaging the place, destroying all of the towns you just visited. And then they come for you, and then they blow you up, and then you die. And then you reset. Reset right at the start point. Let's increase your stress meter by 1. Okay, so what happened was you were about to go on another adventure. However, something happened, and now you can't ignore it. You know that the dragons are going to erupt from the mountain. What do you do next? Chat. Okay, so we have 49% on the Ghost Trick Manor. You guys decide to go to the Ghost Trick Manor. Yay! You walk up to the front of the mansion and you see a ghost. A ghost comes out and scares you. And as you're about to get some options in order to talk to this ghost, the sky erupts. You see thunder start crashing down everywhere, and you hear a loud explosion. And the dragons start flying over and destroying everything. And they come over to your location immediately, and they blow everything up. And then you die again, and then you reset. One more uptick. Updoot. Ooh, you're not even in the red yet. What do you guys wish to do next? Go to the dragon maids for help? They did say they would help you. You did have people who said they would help you. I'm way too drunk for this chat. Okay. We'll stop it here. We have 67% who says to go over to the dragon rulers. You notice the last couple of times you tried to do something, the same thing kept happening. The sky kept erupting. They kept going on a rampage, and they kept killing you eventually. You're gonna get to the bottom of this. You're gonna go back over here and confront the dragons. You go over to the dragons and you decide enough is enough. You are going to fight. Let's see how well that goes. Mokey is going to use his little Mokey deck versus full power dragon rulers. Let's go. Okay. Ooh, there goes Tempest. And you put him face down with Floodgate Trap Hole. You were playing a Mokey RP deck versus full power dragon rulers. Good luck. Human wave tactics. They're gonna get a draw card in the end phase, but they can draw 3 cards. They have Mudora and a 6 cents in hand. They call 3 and 4, get 3, they draw 3. You have Mokey Smackdown. You're going for it. They have 8 cards in hand, 7 cards in hand. Oh, they get Nagito in the grave. They're milling. Oh, they milled a Kelbeck. And they also get a Kelbeck and a Nagito out on the field. Halkei Fibrax into a glow up bulb. They're going to use Tidal from the graveyard. You're going to use Redox effect in order to search out Pebble. Oh, and they're going Chaos Magical Dragon. He's searching, he gets none, he sends them all to the graveyard. The Tempest comes back. Tempest comes out and is going to go into one of the Odd Eyes Dragons. This card can attack 3 times during the battle phase. Oh, and then there's Destrudo, and there's Glow Up Bulb coming back. And they use them all to go into the 5-headed God Dragon, and he's going to attack you 3 times. For game. You die. They destroy you. Let's go back to the overworld. Your stress meter is getting higher. But still not that high. You guys have not died as much as I thought you would. What do you do next? Unfortunately, it seems as if your deck is just not strong enough to beat them. If only you had some help. Wait, those cards didn't exist with full power dragon rulers? I know it's better. Revenge, you guys are clicking on tier. The dragons, the Lightsworns. I don't believe you guys got help from the Lightsworns. You guys never cleared that one. That was a coin flip, really. Okay, so we have 300 clicks. Let's... Honestly, I know on screen it says Tearlaments is winning, but on my screen it shows that Dragon Maids actually has the highest amount. You know the one that OCG banlist, no cards and tournaments of the OCG? Wasn't it Tearlaments? I don't know why this isn't like updating. Dragon Maids 1 is 47%. What you do is you guys go over to the Dragon Maids. You go over to Kitchen and you explain to her. You won't believe me, but soon the sky is gonna erupt. Thunder clouds will be shooting lightning everywhere and the dragons will go crazy. I need your help. And she says, okay, let's go. And she gets into the dragon form and flies you over to them. You guys go head off on the dragons before they go on their rampage. Oh yeah, this is definitely just like bugged out a little bit. Anyways, let's see. You guys got the Dragon Maids to help. Do you guys think Dragon Maids can defeat full-powered dragon rulers using banned cards and as well as modern cards? Let's find out. You're going first. You normal summon Metal Dragon. Go into Striker in order to search out Darkness Metal Dragon. Use him to special summon Chamber from the hand to search out Changeover. And you go into YGioh Pass with Maxi and Ash Blossom in hand. Looks like they opened Graceful Charity. You use YGioh in order to negate it, and then bring out House. Ooh, Maxi. They're gonna go into Destrudo, and then go into Halki Fibrax, and then you Ash Blossom it. They're all out of gas. They set 6 cents, as well as a return from the Dim Dimension, I believe. Oh, they got a 1. That's terrible. You bringing it back. Go into House in order to pop the card. You have the fusion. Use well, I don't know what that one is called. And then you go into a House Dragon Maid. Oh, it's increasing the attack of all your monsters. You have game on board as long as their face down card isn't anything. And you do it. You destroyed them. The Dragon Maids working together absolutely tear the Dragon Rulers apart. That's time for some celebratory music. Congratulations. You did it. How to beat dragons? Use dragons. Yeah, you just, they weren't able to play through 3 forms of interruption. They almost did. But luckily you also had that Ash Blossom in hand to stop that Halki Fibrax. Who would have thought? With the help of the Dragon Rulers, you were able to defeat... the Dragon Maids, you defeated the Dragon Rulers. So you go back to the front of... where was it at? You come over here to hang out. You guys all throw a huge party to celebrate having saved the world. And then eventually you guys go to sleep. And then you wake up the next day. And everything is super cold. You go into the rooms and you see all the Dragon Maids have died in their sleep, except for you. Something's wrong. And then you go outside. And you notice a huge, cold landscape. You go to the nearest town, since you were over at the Dragon Maid part. And despite being called the Fire Fist, they're all asleep, frozen to death. You seem the one who seems to be alive. And you go up, it's like, it was the Dragon Rulers last time. Maybe something over here is going to happen. And you notice something that wasn't there before. A giant city floating in the sky. Then as you look up, you see a familiar face in there. As eventually you too freeze to death. And then you die. What happens now? Is you get reset back at the start. You always start over here. I'm just showing it over for this. You don't really know where you've reset to. And you notice the thing is in the sky. You can see it this time. You didn't see it before. Why is it so obvious now? Maybe you can stop everything if you just go there first. What do you guys do next? That's fine. You guys can still click on screen. It's just, you guys can't see it on screen. I just have to tell you what the results are. Basically, you guys reset to the point where the Dragon Rulers would always go crazy. What do? You now see a giant floating castle that you weren't able to see before. Okay, let me stop it. You guys have all clicked on the castle. You go over to the castle, and you use the tiny little wings on your body to fly up to it. You fly up to the castle, and you go in, and if I had enough time, this would be another amazing adventure. Just imagine you go through and you're finding your way, you're solving puzzles, and you finally get to the final room. And in this room, you notice a very familiar face. Look, it's Evil Havness. You can tell she's evil because she has, like, drawn-on eyebrows. Okay, the final battle. Mokey versus Evil Havness. Let's see how this works out. Ooh, you drew no gas. Your opponent has 3 versions of... I should note, this is pre-errata. Future Fusion. So she sends 2 cards to the graveyard, Merely and Havness, and goes into Kit Kelos. Okay, and then activates another future fusion, this time sending Shadow Beast and Zephyros to the grave, which draws them a card. And they're going to send some more tier names to the graveyard. Oh, Shiren. And then they're going to return future fusion, which will allow them to use again. And they're going to Lovavel Chain in order to send a YGO to the grave, which allows them to mill 5 from both decks. And they're going to activate future fusion for a 4th time this turn in order to go into Kashtira. And then they attack with 2 cards. Oh, you guys have one more turn to do something. They're screwed. You guys drew into Bottomless Trap Hole. Amazing. Awesome. Oh, and they're activating their 5th future fusion. Oh, no. This is still the 4th one. Never mind. Okay, so they use Lovavel Chain in order to send a tier name to the graveyard to go into Arise Heart. Oh, then you activate a card in order to destroy all cards on the field with less attack, and then you flip it also face down as well, because you don't know how to use this deck, apparently. And then they just attack for game, and you die. And you lose. Let's increase the stress meter by 2, because I forgot to do it last time. Ooh, you're in the yellow now. Amazing. Something fun happens when you make it to the red. Okay. And restart. Click on where to go next. How were you guys able to clear the dragon rulers last time? Maybe you can ask for help. However, who can defeat a full power Tearlament deck with banned cards? So, according to this, you guys have 100% clicked on the Tearlament place. You guys wish to go ask the Tearlaments for help. Can we ask the Maids? At least Shio has negates. Yeah, you're allowed to ask anyone who you've talked to previously. You go over to the sisters and ask them for help. You explain. Havness. She's gone crazy. I can show you. And you point up at the sky. And they're like, there's nothing there. And you tell them, focus. You can see it if you look hard enough. And they're like, oh my god, we can see it. There's a giant-ass castle in the sky. They're like, I need your help to save the world. And they're like, okay, we will help you. We were wondering where she went. She ran off after we had our confrontation with her, and she just wouldn't hear it. So this is what she was up to. So with the 2 sisters, you go up, and you fly them up to the castle, because they can't fly, but you can with your tiny little wings. And you go into the tower, and then you have, you know, if I had time to prep this, an epic battle where you fight through hordes of enemies and solve puzzles and romance some guards, and you make it to the final boss room of Havness with her sisters. And let's see how this works. I should say, because you have her sisters with her, her deck will not have either Merrily or Shireen in it. And also, their deck will not have Havness in it. Let's see how this goes. Okay, so the Tear Sisters, they open up Primeval Planet Pellerino. They go into Kashtira Tearlaments. Oh, and they searched out Merrily. And they're going to mill some cards. They mill Rise Heart. No, not a Rise Heart. The other guy. Kelbeck to bounce it back. And then they're going to send probably Havness to the grave, because that's their only tier name that can go into fusions. In Havness's entire deck to go into Kit Kelos. In order to search out another Havness, and they activate Merrily, and they activate Havness in hand in order to mill 3 more. Merrily is able to mill a tier name, and they're able to destroy Kit Kelos. Oh, and they search out Shiren, and they're going to mill 5 cards, and they mill Kashtira and a YGO, which is going to be another, what is that, like a 7 mil? Oh, and they also milled some on your side too, so now it's a mill off. Oh my god, you milled a Kelbeck. They milled a Kelbeck. There's going to be so much mill going on right now. They have 5 cards left in their deck. They have a Reinhardt. Oh, 0 cards left in the deck. Okay, and they go into Rukalos. They go into Abyss Dweller, and they're activating all their shufflers right now so they can get a deck so they don't deck out before Abyss Dweller shuts them off. And then Shireen goes, and they're going for a mill off right now. Oh, and this was just turn 1. Turn 1, they milled their entire deck. Oh, and they use Rainbow Bridge of Salvation to search out a field spell, and then they're having Havness go off, and they're going to negate the Havness, and they're also activating Abyss Dweller to shut off their graveyard. And they go into Dragos Tapalia, and then pop the Havness on field. And they can't use graveyard effects because of Abyss Dweller. And they're going to negate the effect of Kashtira. Oh, and Kashtira destroys Abyss Dweller. Now their graveyard is turned on the next turn. You have Merely and Shireen in hand. They're going to activate a Shuffler War. We're going to shuffle each other's shufflers during the draw phase. Oh man. Getting rid of all the resources. Primeval Planet. They're going to send it to the graveyard before it can get destroyed so they can negate Dragostapelia. And then they're going to activate Havness in the graveyard to go for their 1 fusion summon for a Rise Heart. Send it back and then trigger their own field spell. And then Shireen comes out. Mills Merrily, which allows them to go for a fusion. A Rise Heart, and they can send back their Arise Heart with a Rise Heart. Oh, and they have Fairy Tale Snow in the grave. And they give up. They win. That was game. You did it. Let's go to the epilogue. I don't have an epilogue screen. Let's go back to the... That was another thing I didn't get to do because I didn't have time. So, epilogue. With you guys got the Tearlaments sister ending. After beating Havness... Oh, let me play some music for this. After beating Havness, the sisters convince her to give up her evil ways. And Havness says she no longer knows why she was... what was motivating her, as her memory of everything is just so foggy. And she doesn't really understand why she was doing anything she was doing. She seems nicer now, and she thanks you. In this path, you never actually, were tricked by her, so she doesn't have any ill will towards you. And you unlock the friendship ending. You become friends with Havness. You hang out with the Tearlaments. This is your new life. The Dragon Rulers never erupt. You were able to prevent it and save the world. You did it! Congratulations! You got the Tearlaments sisters' friendship ending. Thank you for playing Mokey Mokey's Wonderful Adventure.